Alright, what is up, everybody? This will be my first video review of a movie. Anyone who reads my blog, which I think is still just a few of you, if any, this is going to be a little different. I've never done a video review before, so bear with me. It might not be as well organized. Anyway, this is a review for A Million Ways to Die in the West, the second movie by Seth MacFarlane, and his first debut acting as like his actual self and not just voice acting. The movie itself was fairly good. It wasn't as good as Ted, but it felt like an extended episode of Family Guy to me, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Personally, I love Family Guy. But Seth MacFarlane himself, he doesn't seem to do as well acting in live action as he does in, voice acting. Certainly his voice, at least being used to seeing it from, so many characters on his shows, is very... It's very animated almost. Like, his voice sounds animated. And maybe I'm just used to him, and that's why I'm thinking that. So it's kind of weird to see. But I think the biggest problem with it, honestly, though, was Seth MacFarlane himself. He's just not as good of an actor outside of voice acting. And, the movie was packed with jokes and references. There's actually two references that I caught from movies that are just hilarious, and they're awesome. Very, very unexpected. But one of the biggest problems, I think, with Seth's acting is that, when he writes the jokes, he sort of runs them into the ground. Like, he'll make a joke and then throw out the punchline, and then he'll explain it. And I kind of get that he's doing that, to kind of show how awkward his character is. Because he's supposed to play this kind of awkward loser guy that, just got dumped and no one likes him. And he's kind of a failure. That's supposed to be his character. So it kind of makes sense that he does it awkwardly, but it also kind of ruins the funniness of the movie. Plus, I swear for the first half of the movie, his catchphrase is, "Holy shit!" Because he says it like 8 times when something crazy happens. There are a lot of very, very funny lines, though. Particularly a joke about a sheep in a whorehouse that I won't spoil, but it's pretty funny. So, the basic premise of the movie is Seth MacFarlane plays, a guy who is a sheep farmer. Can't even remember his name. Something Stark. I think Aaron Stark. I thought of Game of Thrones too when it first said it. So Aaron Stark. So he's a sheep farmer in the Old West, and pretty much he hates his life because it starts off like with him in a duel, and he just kind of cowers, and then his girlfriend Amanda Seyfried sees that he is just a pansy, and dumps him for Neil Patrick Harris, who is sort of the rich. He's the rich businessman. He owns a mustachery, so a place of business with things for caring for your mustache. I think there's a cat jingling a bell in the background. Anyway, and then Charlize Theron plays this girl who is new to town, and she's with this gang of bandits led by Liam Neeson. And supposedly Liam Neeson's character is the fastest gun in the West. And so the whole time throughout this movie, they're scoping out the town. But they don't really make much of an appearance until about the second act. Because the first act is Seth MacFarlane's character actually training for a duel. Charlize Theron is teaching him how to shoot for a duel with Neil Patrick Harris over the honor of Amanda Seyfried. And that's where most of the stuff you see in the trailer comes in. The big fights and whatnot with Liam Neeson, that doesn't happen until the second half. And even still, Seth MacFarlane's character is just kind of... He's not much of a fighter. So, I'm not going to spoil how anything turns out. But in the end, I will say it definitely has some funny jokes. It's one of the funnier movies I've seen. I certainly didn't stop laughing throughout it, but it was more of kind of light chuckling than just full out belly laughter, because he couldn't stick the landing when he was telling his jokes, I think, and he was very much outclassed in acting by everyone around him. Neil Patrick Harris, Charlize Theron, Amanda Seyfried, and Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson, man, he steals the show every time he is on screen. That being said, it's a very funny movie. I'll give it a half-hearted thumbs up. I've stopped doing scores out of 10 for anyone who read my blog. I'm not going to do those anymore. It's a good distraction. It's not really going to be the funniest movie of the year by any means. I think the biggest problem is the jokes were great. He just couldn't deliver them properly. Anyway, so that's my review of A Million Ways to Die in the West. But what'd you guys think? Let me know in the comments.